Here we go. Okay, welcome to another Isle of Fitness podcast. My name is Sean Clifford. I'm the owner operator of Isle of Fitness and delighted to be sitting down here with Daryle, current client, and his wonderful wife, Gretchen, to discuss Daryl's transformation over the last 5-ish months, where he has gone from 255 pounds to today 189.6 pounds. He has not been here in 37 years, confirmed by
Oh,
Daryle earlier when he was a freshman at college. So absolutely amazing. And what I want you, the viewer, to get from this conversation is inspiration. Now, at Isle of Fitness, we primarily focus on helping dads that are carrying 40 pounds plus get in the shape of their life by helping them learn how to build a strong foundation of wellness, fitness, weight loss, all that good stuff through common sense and consistency. But whether you are a dad, a grandmother, a mother, anyone, we want you to take inspiration from Daryle and Gretchen's story here because Gretchen is hugely important to this. So that if you're struggling with your own weight, you can take some energy from Daryle's story and make some wonderful changes that you don't have to include pills, fasting, cutting out carbs, cutting out your favorites. All these things are not sustainable and they typically lead to yo-yoing right back where you started from. A brief bit about myself is I am a former, if you've never seen any of my stuff, I am a former obese, exhausted, genuinely hopeless feeling dad that thought it was game over. This is embarrassing. In my mid 30s, with respect to my weight, I was over the hill after 30. It was my genetics. I was 220 pounds. I had put on 40 pounds in 2.5 years. I was completely miserable. And I thought I blamed my wife. I blamed my two young sons. I blamed my job. I blamed my metabolism. I blamed everything except looking at who was responsible and realizing that it was my choices and my habits that had got me there. I took a long time to lose 35 pounds. It took me 18 months because I didn't know what I was doing. And after I got the weight off, I was like, okay, that was not easy, but it was simple. And I had a dream to help other dads achieve this. I got certified as an awesome personal trainer. And to date, I've coached hundreds of men and women and around 200 dads as well. And we are very proud at Isle of Fitness to help our clients do amazing work, just like Daryle here. So, Daryle and Gretchen, wonderful to be sitting down with you here today. Thanks so much for taking the time to have a chat with me.
man, just delivered. So our dog goes crazy.
Okay, good. I hope everything's okay, Cam. Uh,
Yeah.
Before I started the recording on this, Daryle and Gretchen, I said, it's wonderful to be sitting down here. 5-ish months ago, we had a conversation about working together. But we got to go back a bit further than that. And Daryle, it's funny. I got the testimonial, your testimonial from you this week. I actually had my editor polish it up. I'm going to send you it after we have our conversation here. But can I just ask you, can you tell us a bit about where you were um, over the last kind of year, which has obviously gone on longer than that, where you were, how you were feeling with life at 255 pounds?
Well, I was a soon to be retired PE teacher, elementary PE teacher, and I was worn down. Um, I was looking for like an easy out. I was looking for some way that didn't involve all this work. But then I came upon some of your videos and well before we decided to work together. And I would come home, I would come home from work and just be exhausted and sit, watch TV, um, ate, uh, and things just things just weren't great. And then when I retired, I needed to find something to do. I Gretchen was about to find another job for me because I was going to lift, in the morning, but I wasn't seeing a lot of gains. I wasn't getting any traction, and it was just kind of like, a gerbil on a wheel or something. Just
Hmm.
it just wasn't working. Um, and then we decided to go that next step and get some help.
I'm very glad to hear. So it was, it should have been an exciting time. But you're about to retire. You're a PE teacher. A lot of work. My wife is a teacher herself. But tell me, this is important. You said your things weren't feeling great. What is not feeling great? What was that like for you?
Well, um, being a PE teacher, um, and being overweight, not even overweight, morbidly obese, um, it was depressing because I used to be able to do all the exercises with the kids, but it was once I would get going on getting healthy, I would end up getting hurt again, or
Yeah,
um, and it just spiraled, and 220 pounds became 230 pounds after an injury, and then another injury would happen, and then 230 became 240, and all the way up to 255. So, um, and and the shirts, the clothes, they started making clothes smaller, and blood pressure. Uh, I was ordering triple X triple X shirts and blaming the companies for, I don't know why they're sizing these. They're from China. They're sizing these shirts wrong. I'm pretty sure because I used to fit in a 2X.
yeah.
So I think like you in your quest, eventually the finger started pointing to me, and 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 Gretchen had tried to tell me a good 2, 3 years before that we needed to do something, and I was, kind of lazy, and so you were her gift.
It's this is familiar. I also blamed the clothes factories in China. I thought when my trousers weren't fitting and the shirts weren't fitting, they're making the clothes smaller.
Yes.
Love, Gretchen, please tell me a few years ago, what were you saying to Daryle?
I was just saying, we would both feel so much better if we just lost 20 pounds, 20 pounds each. That's all we need to do. Just help me with this. And back in 2018, I put us on a food program that was really very good. And I lost like 30 pounds. And I was always pissed at him because he'd eat the thing I'd make and then he'd go in and he'd get a bowl of chips. I'd be like, you just finished. Let it settle. So, yeah, I was ready. I was
Yeah.
so glad when he was finally ready.
Well, can you tell me, because this is not something that we talked about, and a lot, like I knew that you were supportive, but what was the change? What were you thinking, feeling when Daryle was like, what, like, tell me, what did Daryle say to you? Like, I found this Irish stranger on Instagram. Like, what did that conversation look like?
I didn't really take it very seriously, honestly.
Yeah.
At the time when it couldn't have been a worse time to do the meeting with you because I was starting to ramp up. It was getting close to Thanksgiving. It was getting close to Christmas. My anxiety starts to rev up at about the end of October for that. And year end, I'm an accounting manager.
Hmm.
And I also had a batch. I foster mama cats, and so I had a batch of kittens, and I was getting ready to let them go, and that's always emotional. And I'm like, I don't, whatever, I don't have time for this. I'll do the meeting, but I got things. So,
Yeah.
and then I just, he was excited. You said the right things.
Please tell me, because I would love to know. What did I say?
Well, I am not a believer in, I'm not a believer in like doing a crash diet where you tell me I can't have fruit
Hmm.
and that kind of thing because it has sugar in it. And
Yeah.
I'm a believer that you can eat anything. You just have to do it the right way and in the
Hmm.
right quantities. And so, you just made it more so it was natural because I don't want to do pills. I don't want to do shakes and all of that. I I just I just know that you just have to eat better and eat
Yeah.
better, quantity sizes and all that serving sizes. So
Well, I'm very glad, because we don't. If you can't get in the shape of your life while enjoying your favorites, it's never going to stick. They will, like I believe, they'll always trigger you to yo-yoing, yo-yoing right back. If we said for the last 5 months, Daryle, you're not allowed bread, ice cream, chips, whatever. As soon as you go, as soon as you finish up and you have a one week chip, if you haven't learned how to enjoy them in balance, they will trigger you back. So Gretchen, like that is very helpful for me to hear, the sort of common sense approach to this, which is what we do. It's like, okay, let's do this in baby steps, and nothing exotic or weird or fatty. It's got to be sustainable. So really good to know, and really good to know where you were, especially the busy, anxious, and then I know if you have Daryle saying, "Can we talk with this guy?" and you're like, probably it's like uncomfortable energy. But I'm so glad because I remember like sitting down with the three of you, and it was fantastic, and we did have that conversation. Daryle, just we had chatted on and off for close to a year. I would check in with you, like you'd follow me. I probably said hello, and then I was like, "Hey, do you want to make some changes?" Like, and we had done that for a couple of times throughout the year, and then it came, you'd shared like you'd gained more confidence and more trust with myself, and then we had that conversation. And of course, obviously, it worked out. It felt like a good fit. We all sat down, we ran through what that would look like. So we all agreed, working together for around 6 months, and to cut a long story short, I build a launch program. It's a minimum commitment of 16 weeks, and it is evergreen fundamentals. So we're looking at a balanced diet, a balanced diet, not doing a diet. Looking at a training program, building a training program for Daryle, around Daryle, taking into consideration potential past injuries, impingements, things like that, and then looking at those common sense habits. One of the things that we do is we do track what you're eating so that uh, for sure, like what you don't track. And Gretchen, this as an accounting manager, if you don't track it, you're not managing it. What happened the weekend before we started? We always start the Monday. What was the message I got on the Saturday? Daryle, what was the message I got? Can you remember on that Saturday?
Saturday.
I
It
don't
was
I
it
mean, the
was
first time we talked, you and I was Friday, and I was crying because I didn't have time to get to the grocery store and all
okay.
that. I was dropping off three kittens that I didn't want to.
Yeah, so it was the Friday. It was the Friday. Daryle had messaged me something like, we're feeling pretty overwhelmed here with all this information. And, which for me on this side, I've been doing this for years, extremely normal, common. And Gretchen, I talked to you. You were, stressed, overwhelmed, upset, and I hope that I made you feel better with respect to like,
You
hey,
did.
this is what we're gonna do. Okay, no worries, no, and that's the thing too. There's no pressure. We're doing this over a longer term, and we're doing this in baby steps, and it's about progress over perfection. Because Daryle, as you know, guys, we're so good about the all or nothing. We're in it. We're gonna mission it. But if one thing is off, then we're like, feck it, and then we slide back to where we were. So it is also important as well. Making changes is stressful. And, Daryle, you went into a period of, hey, I'm not doing my normal thing now. Can you tell me what that was like starting the program and sort of going into that flux of transitioning from an old lifestyle that wasn't serving you, into the program?
my biggest concern was that I I used to feel like I used to be programmed, my day was programmed about school. So
Mhm.
so every half an hour I had a new class arrive and I had to be on. I was the entertainer, kind of PE teacher. And and sometimes I felt like I didn't have the energy, like my blood sugar was wrong or something like that. And so I snacked all the time.
Hmm.
Um, just just as kind of a band-aid, really. But when when we started this, I was worried that I wasn't going to have enough to eat, and I was going to be like jittery all the time. And uh, Gretchen was always telling me that I need to, you don't need that many chicken nuggets or dino nuggets. You don't need a whole plate of dino nuggets. Um, so the instantly the first thing that I was reminded is how Gretchen always did it when she was doing her diet thing, um, her weight loss thing, is that it was all about proportions and or portions and
Serving
the
size.
serving size was.
Yeah.
So that was I was so nervous about that portion because I always kind of had the feeling that if I didn't have enough food in me, I
Hmm.
wouldn't have the energy to do the other things.
Uh-huh. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And how and what was it like then? As let's say, after maybe 4 or 5 weeks and you're in the swim of it, what were your energy levels like? With the allotted calorie budget that you had for being on program.
I I adapted really pretty fast. I once I knew the ceiling, the
Yep.
the what I couldn't go past and what um we found we found food and meals that kind of fit in that number.
Hmm.
Um I I took to it.
Hmm.
It's been the breakfasts have been all the same almost every day. And I don't mind that. I mean, I taught for 31 years and I maybe had three lunches that I went to all the
Yeah.
time. They weren't
Yeah.
great. They weren't great, but
Yeah.
they were the same all the time. I didn't mind that. So that spoke to me. Once I found the meals that fit within that calorie type macro thing.
Hmm.
Um,
Absolutely.
yeah,
Eating that, you've had that granola every day,
yeah,
and I love it, and I love it, and it's very interesting to hear as well. You're like, I've been doing this for 30 years with my lunches, like working through three different lunches. And for anyone that's watching this, like uniform eating, it's not a requirement, but if you can settle around, especially a couple of breakfasts and a couple of lunches that are tasty, they have to be tasty, full of protein to keep you full. It's easy to make, and you can eat them again and again. It makes fat loss, so much easier. So I love it. Gretchen, can I ask you, what was it like for you as Daryle, sort of you both as well, getting into a new pattern over those first couple of months?
Um, it wasn't, I mean, I didn't think it was all that hard. Once I understood what he was going to need, it was a matter, I'm in charge of all the food in the house. I'm the one that buys it. I'm the one that prepares it. So, um, and that's just how it's worked out.
Mm-hmm.
So once I knew just the things that were good that I needed to get at the grocery store and be able to be prepared. I learned how to make granola because I was trying to find a cheaper, better granola that wasn't so we half and half it. We buy some, and then I make some.
Mm-hmm.
Um, what was the que
Just
what was
how
the
was it?
question?
How was it? What was life feeling like for you as well as in the first couple of months when Daryle was adjusting into his new pattern, and just like how you were feeling as well, because you were like a huge support for him doing this and a big encouragement.
Yeah, I love to look for recipes and stuff. So for me, it's been fun just finding new recipes, and I think he's been surprised that we found these recipes that fit within the macros that
Mhm.
he's like, this is really good.
Yeah.
So we've the one of the other things is that just to kind of take the pressure off a little, I still get HelloFresh every other week, and
Hmm.
we they're into the calorie that you can just look for high protein,
Yeah.
calorie smart recipes. And so with that, we kind of hit and miss. There's been a couple of times that we probably didn't have the exact right ones, but that's gotten better.
Hmm.
So I mean, the HelloFresh is kind of expensive, but it's just worth it because then I know that 3 meals every other week are done, basically. I just have to cook them,
And it takes it,
and
it
it's
takes us
something different.
and takes yeah variety and takes the stress off you. Okay,
Right.
Gretchen, I would love to hear. I'm going to go back to Daryle here, but would love to hear. Daryle is down 60, coming up in 66 pounds now, which is incredible, and reversing close to 40 years in the scale in the last 6 months. Can I ask you? Tell me about your own. What's been the changes that you've experienced? What while you've been both kind of been doing this work too.
Well, I'm down 26 pounds.
Boom,
So,
boom. Well done. Well done.
I
Congrats.
mean, my biggest problem, he's salty and I'm sweet. So just not having as many sweets, um, I has changed everything. We've just been having, I mean, we've been having fun. We've been going for walks every night. The
Yeah,
dog's been happy because now she's going for 2 walks
yeah.
a day. So I don't feel like I've made just changes in that. I've had the same lunch for over 5 years.
Yeah.
Because I've always had my breakfast and my lunch dialed in. It's been the dinners and somebody saying, "You want to go to Dairy Queen?" Like,
Get those
yeah,
get those blizzards in you. Okay,
Mhm.
so
yeah.
how does it feel? How's it 26 pounds? That is huge. How are you feeling? Like what are you noticing difference in your what differences are you noticing?
Um, I am not. So I've also been learning a lot about perimenopause because I'm kind of going through that, and so and some of the side effects of that.
Hmm.
Uh, I've been seeing my doctor for that, and one of the things with perimenopause is you have joint pain, and I
Hmm.
was having really bad joint pain, and that is gone.
Wow,
So that's nice.
amazing.
Um, Anxiety, they've been helping me with that. That's really helped. So,
Can I ask you? Can I? Sorry, anxiety. What's changed with respect to like it's improved? Like how's
um,
that? How's it? What does that look like for your anxiety? Feels better,
I'm sleeping better,
right? Wow,
sleeping a lot better. And I think that, the weight loss and being a little more active during the day and all that is helping with my sleep.
amazing.
Um, the hormone replacement therapy has also helped with a lot of that. But
Okay, fantastic.
I think I've tried, trying to bring it all in together,
Hmm.
to make it
Wonderful.
all work.
Wonderful. I'm so delighted. Like anxiety's feeling better, you're sleeping better, and all this stuff is connected too. Yeah, like joint pain is far, much improved and like gone, like you said. So, Gretchen, I am thrilled that you are enjoying your own positive changes alongside Daryle. Working on this program. Daryle, how does it feel to you took, Gretchen has tried and had success in the past as well. And, you know, you had said to me like you were maybe not an unwilling partner, but like, kind of like following along. What did that feel like with you sort of taking the lead in your own life, in this part of your life, and doing this work?
Um, hmm. Well, I'm not a goal person. I'm I'm really not great at being goal oriented.
Mm-hmm.
Um, as a teacher, that's really weird because every year we have to set our goals and everything, and I've never been about that. But it it proved to me that I can have a goal and do it. I don't have to pronounce it, and I don't have to, you know, say I'm going to get to 180 pounds or I'm not going to be happy or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, it's it's just been I've seen results, um, and that has taken the place of like searching for an impossible goal.
Yeah.
Um, but over time, every time I look at that graph on Sunday where you're doing the whole week, and when you're in the week, you're going, oh man, that's only point 0.2. I felt like I sacrificed so much yesterday. Or,
Yeah.
I left a lot of calories yesterday because I knew that we were going to have something Hello Freshy today.
Uh-huh.
Um, and but then when you take it out and you look at the week or the weeks or the months, it's just, steady. It's been steady and steady and steady. Um, so it's kind of given me an idea that I can reach goals.
Hmm.
Goals are good, um, but I've never really been driven by goal setting.
Hmm.
So I'm really proud of myself for this
Love it.
this yeah.
I love it.
I'm proud.
I love it. Exactly. And I hope that this experience, Daryle, this is one of the hardest things I believe anyone can do. When you are low on confidence, low on fitness, you've got a lot of work to do. And to do what you've done, like you've taken every single step, done every single rep with support, which is important, but you've done this. And I hope that it encourages you for future opportunities alongside Gretchen. Like when I wonder if I could do that. You're like, hell yeah, I can do that. Look what I did with it. Gives you that confidence in, other parts of your life at the moment and in the future. Okay, one of the things, Daryle, I loved about your story. There are many different things. Talk to me about your t-shirts.
So before we were working together, when we were just conversing every now and then on Instagram or whatever,
Yeah.
the biggest lure for me to connect with you was when you talked about your uniform.
Mm-hmm.
You found yourself wearing black shirts
Mm-hmm.
and gray, bottoms.
Mm-hmm.
And instantly that was what I wore every day to teach
Mm-hmm.
in. I mean, you could count on it. I had the black shirt. I'm still wearing black and gray right now.
The kids even
The
knew that
kids knew
about
it. Mr. Brown, why do you always wear gray and black? I said, it's just my outfit. It's
Mm-hmm.
it's my uniform.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, so once or twice a year, um, usually at this time of year, spring, um, I would do a Pink Floyd month because I have so many Pink Floyd shirts.
Yeah.
So the Pink Floyd shirts used to be tie dye, and there still are some. They used to be tie dye and colorful, when I was first teaching.
Yeah.
But over time they've gone drab, and like this one is just a pig, um, just the name, and so um yeah, so that was my thing. I used to like to wear brighter clothes, maybe
Mm-hmm.
even a little brighter, a little more fun, tie dye and stuff like that. But over time, I started getting into a uniform because black is slimming.
Yeah.
You can hide a lot under black.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that was my shirt stories.
And what was it like? And I know I had this similar experiences. What was the change like? What did the change feel like to go from hiding your body to you know like transform it into like multicolor clothing?
Yeah, I'm still getting into that.
Yeah.
You know, we've I have a garbage bag full of 3X, 3XL, 3XLT shirts. And we've been slowly transitioning into extra larges. We
Uh-huh.
skipped 2XLs
Awesome.
from 3XLs, and we've been, whenever I see a shirt, when we go shopping a lot on at to find stuff at the Goodwills and stuff, and if I ever find a shirt that I'm like, that's got some color to it. I don't know,
Yeah.
maybe I should try that. So it still feels weird looking at that XL
Yeah.
and first trying it on because for so long it was putting on a tent to hide the imperfections, you know. Um, and so these new shirts, when I try them on, my arms are kind of inside a little bit more,
Yeah.
and it's like, oh, this is never going to fit because this was the test. If a shirt made me do this with my arms to get into it, it
Yeah.
was never going to be good on the belly.
Yeah.
So now those shirts, when I try them on and I look to Gretchen, she goes, "That looks great.
Awesome.
That looks
Yeah.
great." So it's
Well,
I always need,
enjoy those XLs while you can, because you're going to be going into large and mediums. Seriously, I'm not
yeah.
joking. You are. Like you're going to be your those XLs are going to be too big. Probably already getting too big. So I hope that feels fantastic.
Oh yeah. Oh
And
yeah.
again, it's not about being. I don't. For us, it's not about being thin or skinny. It's about shedding the excess weight that you want, getting to an objectively healthy place. You love how you're feeling. You love how you're looking. You got bags energy. You're fit. You're strong, and you're crushing life. Okay, Gretchen, I got to ask you a question here. That you were complaining about Daryle that he had too much energy. I heard. Tell me about that.
Well, I can't even remember what it was, but
He was
it,
bouncing
it
around the house doing
yeah,
all
he was
these jobs.
yeah, and he was gonna go do something in the yard, and I was like, "What are you doing? How many steps have you got? You got like 25,000 steps. Take a load off. Jeez, I don't want to go out there."
And Daryle, this is so Gretchen's like, sit down, like chill. Tell me, because I think I remember you telling me at the start, like you told me, and correct me if I'm wrong, back in the day, right in the 250s, post 2 o'clock in the afternoon, you would sit in your chair in your living room. Tell me, what were your energy levels like then?
Oh geez, that it was depressing because it was I didn't have any energy. I'd come home from work, um, and just dead,
He would
crashed.
he would get up to get dinner, and
Yeah.
he would
The
that was it.
yeah, the the thing that I used to do normally is I would go from school to the gym and work out,
Uh-huh.
but then I would get hurt or something like that, and it would change my schedule. And boy, it was so attractive to go from work, just drive all the way home, and come home just to relax. And
Uh-huh.
so that drive home moved away from going to the gym for days on end, and
Uh-huh.
and came home and I was planted in front of the TV. And um yeah, this the energy has been amazing. This just on Easter, we came home and we went for a little walk with the dog,
Mhm.
and then we settled in, and I was I still had energy going. And so I went for another walk. And so Gretchen was like, "Don't you have enough steps?" It's not about that. It's not about
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and I can't remember ever having that. I mean, as a kid, I remember having always wanting to be playing a sport
Yeah.
and looking for that next sport and the buddies and trying to make contact with my friends. And but since then, I can't recall, having that much energy, especially in the evening.
Yeah. I love it. Speaking of sports, how's that Letterman jacket fitting?
We haven't tried it in a while. It, it did button up last time.
Yeah,
Yeah, I love it. And
like
this
it's
is, and tell me, I think you shared with me like that wouldn't have happened before, or you definitely wouldn't have gone out in public with it. And now it's like
I
buttoning up.
I could not get both my arms in it,
Yeah.
because
Wow. Yeah.
it's a 42 regular,
Yeah.
and I was not a 42 regular.
Yeah. Amazing.
Yeah.
Feels good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fantastic.
I
And I
never
want
got to wear it in high school, so
to,
I
Gretchen,
always had it.
high school sweethearts as well for the viewers. Now, Daryle, I pride myself on getting a good amount of steps in during the day. I got something like 23,000 there yesterday. You beat me every friggin' day. And
Tired.
I will say to Daryle, every other day, hey, how's the day looking? Walk, lift, job, walk, walk. You are now mid 20,000 steps um on the daily, if not more. And what I want to say to people, people at home and dads and granddads, because Daryle's a granddad, I never prescribed Daryle, hey, you got to walk 25,000 steps a day. And I think if I had Daryle, you would have been like, this is impossible. We set a step target, at the start, and you've taken off like a rocket from then. Talk to me. How's that walking been working out for you?
Um, it's my guaranteed thing. It's it's what's been great, and I never thought that this would happen, but my feet haven't bothered me. Um, I found some great shoes
Mm-hmm.
by trial and error, and um, I love going out there. We've been lucky with weather.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we've only had like maybe 10, 20 days of rain and no snow this year. You guys got it all.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, we took that.
Oregon got left behind on that. So I love listening to music, and I found a couple bands during this time, and I became one of their biggest fans by Spotify. So
Yeah.
um, yeah, it's a time to get away and listen to my music and be thinking about stuff, and
It's his part-time job right now.
it's my
Yeah.
part-time job.
Yeah. And I love it. And Gretchen, you were such a huge support, and you said, you pushed him to do this. Like he wanted to do it, but you're always like fearful of doing it. Your support was so important, and I love that. Because I've talked to dads and granddads like Daryle, and their partners are like, oh, I don't know, and they're worried about if they be able to do it. I think it's like, able to do it. What I'm trying to phrase this question correctly. Why? What did it mean for you? Why did you support Daryle to do this? Like to invest in hiring a coach. You know, why did you support him to hire a coach?
Um, well, because then he can bitch at you and you can bitch at him and I can just get myself out of it. Better coming from you.
Yeah,
You can kick his ass. That's easier on me.
yeah.
Um, and honestly, he doesn't ask for much. I mean, he's not one that's going out and spending a bunch of money with
Mm-hmm.
toys and all this. And I'm like, just do it. You never ask for anything. Just go, just try it. Just let's see what happens. And it was like a relief for me because I could just be the support and be part of the team, but you were in charge of it.
This is a really important point, right? Because I talked to again, the Daryls, and they are placing, they're like asking their wife, their partner to be their coach too, and it's not fair. Like they mean well, the
Right.
husbands and whoever, they mean well. They're like, can you help kick my ass? But it's not up to them to do that, and typically there is resentment and
Yeah, big time.
resistance. There was resistance from doing that too. So I love being the bad guy, and to be absolutely fair to Daryle's come in, he's absolutely fucking crushed it. So there's been very little. I would say, Daryle, the thing that the main challenge was probably in the very early stages about the scale and getting used to those scale patterns. And when you figured those out, all the connections between sleep and carbs and water and protein and pooping, when you got a handle, and the Monday through Sunday routine, when you got a handle on that over a few weeks, there's been very little there. The other thing has been actually really enjoying yourself. And I hope not unfair to say, like, I'd be like, hey, if you're out with Gretchen or you're at the occasion, enjoy the cake, enjoy your poker nights with your buddies, and don't fret too much about this because I you need to learn how to enjoy the nice celebrations. And again, um, enjoying having enjoyable times is part of the program, not separate to. And there's no like falling off the wagon or whatever. So, Gretchen, I love that. It is very important that you can have a third party that has the responsibility of keeping Daryle accountable. And to be fair to Daryle, you've come in and you've kicked butt. And I think it again. I hope this is not unfair to say as well. Like you weren't in good shape. at 255, you weren't in good shape, but the turnaround with, you working your launch program, very, very settled in very, very quickly and have absolutely kicked butt. And I want to talk about that. Daryle, I actually haven't got it off the top of my head. Anyway, you've lost a lot of inches. You're fitting into XL shirts, for example. Um, you are down 65.4 pounds at the minute, I believe. And something I love about this, and this is, it's more important than the scale. You shared the picture of you with your granddaughter from a few years back and one more recently. What was the change there in that picture? What was the biggest standout change there?
That belly. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Yeah. Yeah, that was that seeing that picture just kind of solidified I need to do something
Mhm.
because you know,
Why? Why did you need to do something? Why? What? Why?
well, because it wasn't healthy. And there's there's the future family, the the little one, the grandchild, and I want to be available. I
Hmm.
don't want to, be unhealthy and cut my life short, and not experience, graduations and all that fun stuff. And with the new baby on the way anytime soon,
Okay, exciting, exciting.
I want to have that available too. So,
And you've
This is
got
a.
more energy to play with her.
and I have more energy to play. So,
Can I ask you very quickly, what does that look like with more energy? Like you're now playing more with your granddaughter?
um, if she lets me.
Okay.
See, Gigi is a number one,
Okay. Yep.
and Georgia likes to have Gretchen to herself, and so
Okay.
no, Papa, you go inside,
Yeah.
But
So,
yeah,
and Gretchen, sorry, Gretchen, you're down 26 pounds. So, what's the different level of an energy with your granddaughter?
You know, she's not as busy as she was, but I definitely have more energy to follow her around.
Yeah.
She's 6. It's going to be interesting. I'm hoping my energy level will be higher when I'm in charge of 2 of them
Yeah.
with
Okay.
the new baby. So,
I'm very excited as well. I'm excited when Daryle sends a message through and thinking about you all as well. It's fantastic. Okay. Wonderful. Okay, Daryle. Um, you came across a coach on Instagram, and there was conversations there. This has you took the big step of investing in yourself with your time, your energy, your financials. What would you say to other dads, granddads out there that may be in a similar position to yourself about potential exploring getting support?
um, I I think you're kind of for me anyway. I was kind of fooling myself that I could do it by myself. Um, I I I don't like people pushing me. I almost get resistive to it,
Mm-hmm.
but I had come up against that wall too many times as far as I'm not seeing the results. I was always lifting, I was always working out. I would do tons of steps in my job during the day,
Uh-huh.
but until I got that diet piece, a healthy diet, I was just, like banging my head against the wall, and not getting the gains that I should have gotten in the first place. Um, yeah, so I would say to any prospective person that wants to do this, you will you will gain way more out of it than you could ever imagine. Um,
just do it.
just do it. Um, if 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 you if if you don't feel attractive, you might not have a partner that you feel is attractive, and vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and this has been just a great thing for the two of us. Yeah. Beyond our physical, the way that we feel about each other
Mm-hmm.
is
It's nice being a team again.
yes, we are a team, and that's been great.
Gretchen, tell me your team again. What does that look like for you and Daryle? I'd love to hear.
Just the so before he was doing this, I was kind of angry a lot because he was sitting a lot. Like there would
Mhm.
be Sundays that I swear to God, he may have gotten 400 steps. He'd come down and he'd sit and he'd watch football all day.
Yeah.
Um, and I'm more of a goer. Not, I mean, I'm more of a flitter. Like I don't really want to go anywhere, but I don't
Yeah.
like to sit. And
Yep.
so it would be frustrating. And so I last summer there were a lot of times that I was probably not a lot of fun because I was kind of angry because I'd be upstairs. I work from home and I'd be upstairs working all day. And I'd realize that every time I walk by, he was sitting in the chair. And I'm thinking, okay, well, I'm working and you're sitting in the chair. So
Mm.
it's just so nice that he's got a purpose. I was so worried when he retired that he wasn't going to have a purpose.
Mhm.
And I just like that we've done this. We really have done this together. He's had his what he needs to do, and I've done, my part to help him do that. Um, because we were a good team for so long, parenting the kids, and then we didn't have that anymore. So I really like that we have another thing to team up on.
Amazing. And from sitting in the chair all day, now you don't see him. He's out on the roads all day.
Right. Yeah. So instead of sitting, he goes for a walk, but at least I don't have to see it. So
Well, wonderful. And Daryle, you'd said to me, Gretchen told me this is my job now. You have done the job, sir. You have done the job, and there's more to come. But you've done so much work, and this is work. And to people watching this, it's work. But what also is being work is like doing keto and juicing is work, and doing a fad diet and miserable exercises. That's all work. Being 255 pounds and you're feeling horrible about yourself, that's hard work. But when you do the work that Daryle's done, the hard work, you're actually gotten to a place that you love. And it's, I hope, again, life is feeling better and better. And there is an end point where you are at a place where you're feeling wonderful, tons of energy, you're fit, you're strong, building muscle, you're enjoying yourself, and life feels good. Like it's like all of this stuff is kind of hard work, but you've done the work, Daryle. You've done so much work and it's wonderful. And you are at a place where things are just feeling better and better. Your biomarkers, hopefully, fingers crossed, CPAP machine gone.
hopefully.
Hopefully, if I could ever have an appointment, yeah.
Yeah, Daryle's having trouble getting actually seeing a doctor. Ironically, he's in the shape of his life, and we're hoping for that as well. This is work, but when you do it right, then this is the Daryle Brown launch program. Daryle, you've done the work. You've transformed. You're still transforming, and this is important too. Daryle wants to go to. We talked about it this week. He's going to 180 pounds. Me and Daryle are finishing up officially in a few weeks, and then he's going to continue the work to get to 180 pounds. My feeling is you'll want a bit more when you get there, but you'll see how you're feeling. You'll see how you're feeling, right? But you're at 180 pounds. What is that? Like 75 pounds down. You're feeling incredible. You're in large t-shirts, heading into mediums. Gretchen, you're continuing your own changes too. And it's wonderful to hear your marriage has improved. You as a team are stronger, and just your life as parents and grandparents. The future is looking wonderful. And Daryle, just congrats and kudos to you on doing this work. Like seeing you now, in this setting too, you look like 20 years younger since the last time as well. And Gretchen, you're looking fantastic too. And it's just such an amazing story. And I'm going to shut up in a second here, but Daryle, as I've shared with you, this is what I know can happen. And I have people following us, and they're like, "Oh, that looks good, but I'm not sure." And when I'm talking to the Daryls, and I'm like, "Oh, see if you do this, and as long as it's a good fit, this version of what you have achieved is there for them." So, can I ask you, would you recommend dads and granddads if they are struggling, in silence or just in general with their weight? Would you encourage them to reach out to myself for a chat?
Definitely, definitely. It doesn't cost you anything to have that chat. And it's so inspiring once you and not just looked at an Instagram post or something like that, but actually face to face, it just makes sense. It you have to have some kind of um, financial bid in it to motivate you to get to that next step.
The skin in the game is huge,
Skin
and
in the game, yes.
the financial piece is important. But see, when you're like, my time and my energy is going into this too, and I've got a plan and I've got worked the plan, it's amazing. Amazing team Brown. Can I ask you any last comments, Gretchen? Anything you'd like to share?
No, I mean, other than our common thing was, what would Coach Sean do?
What would Coach John say about that?
Oh, with what? With what exactly?
Oh, just whatever. I don't food. What?
We had somebody to blame.
WWCSD.
Yes, she was going to make a shirt say that.
Please, I'll take it. I'll take it. I'll take it. All right. Or you put it on yourself. Put it on yourself as a reminder. Get an L for Daryle. Daryle, I love it. Daryle, anything else you'd like to share that I haven't asked you? Like, and this is unscripted, obviously.
Yeah, I would have 6 months ago, I would have never thought that this was possible.
Mhm.
Never, when we were sitting across from each other, I was like, oh my gosh, when Gretchen gave me the okay, as she went in and took care of the kittens, and I was here to see you after you left us to let us make a decision. I once I committed, I committed.
Mhm.
Yep.
And the difference was that that I had I had support that I always knew that I would have, but
Mhm.
this was beyond support. And also we had a partner. Um, it's so huge to have that other person
Mhm.
because Gretchen got tired of being the one to tell me you don't need a whole tray
Dino
of
nuggets.
nuggets, dino nuggets. There, those aren't.
6 and 9.
So it's just a great program, and I tell my friends all about it all the time. So
I love it, man, and I love it. Again, it is inspiring. Like what you've achieved, Daryle and Gretchen, you're doing your own work as well. It is truly inspiring. And what I love is what this means for your quality of life and what it means for your future. And I know what it felt like where I felt stuck and trapped and I thought my future was bleak and I was just, you know, destined to go down and decline. And now you both are enjoying a new lease in life and it just gets better. It just gets better and better. And what this means for your future opportunities and what you'll be doing is completely different to like the Daryle Brown, the version of you that didn't go for it, that's sitting in that chair and Gretchen's angry and it's just not looking so good. So kudos and congrats to you both, and thank you so much for taking the time today. And we've overrun. I've absolutely loved talking to you both, and just love yous, Team Brown. And as I said to you, Daryle, after we finish up in a few weeks, whatever you need, I'm at the end of the call. And Gretchen, the same goes for you. To anyone, if you're, I hope that you're still watching this. I know it's a long one that oh my god, 50 minutes, especially in today's world of like 7-second attention spans. But if you're a dad or a granddad and you are struggling with your weight and you've tried the juicing and the keto and the whatever, those things are not sustainable. They're not going to lead to a quality of life where you're feeling amazing, you're enjoying your treats. What we do is we help teach you how to build that foundation where you lose the weight, you get an amazing shape with all impingements and past injuries that you had. Everything's taken into consideration. And if you're interested, if it makes sense to explore getting help, you can reach out to me on Instagram at Isle of Fitness, on Facebook as well. Send me a message, SEAN at isleoffitness.com. And as you know, Daryle, if it's not a good fit, I'll tell you, we don't want to coach, clients that it's just not a good fit, especially when the commitment in this case was 6 months. It has to be the right fit. If it is a good fit, it's game on. And Daryle, what I love is, you never thought this was possible. I know that it's possible. And I just need you and Gretchen and the Daryls and the Gretchens to just give that first yes. And when you take that first step, you come through the door, we've got you. So, like I said, thank you both for this time and sharing those stories. Absolutely amazing. I hope, again, whether it's with us, you're doing this by yourself, or you're working, it inspires you to reach out to a coach that you've connected with. Go do that. Make these changes yourself. You'll feel amazing. You'll never regret it. Do not go away, both of you, because I'm going to pause this recording and then just a final goodbye. But I hope you've enjoyed this conversation. Reach out for tips, resources, discussing working together. Amazing. Cheers.